Alright, so here we go. These are relatively easy for me to do. These ones that I do for like 220s. But we're going to do some 100s. And so I'm basically just going to go through and pick what works for me for my easiest invocations for 100s. And I'm basically going to be trying to choose stuff that's going to be quote-unquote free, is what they call it. But, so for instance, softcore run, that's like free, you know, you have 3 attempts, and usually, I mean, if you die once, usually people leave and reset anyway. So once you start, you know, needing that extra 10 raid level, then you can start doing hardcore runs. But really, honestly, like if you run softcore run, it's really relatively free. Don't do any of the timers until, again, you get it down, you've got them going. It would be really, really easy to do a 40-minute timer and get another 15 raid level. Don't do any of the help ones, because you'll probably need a lot of the supplies that the little spirit guy gives you. Don't do any of the path ones until, again, you get a little bit better. These ones will actually make the bosses harder, depending on which ones you do. The prayer ones, depending on who you ask. For me, with 99 prayer, Deadly Prayers is relatively free. Because I can bring an extra restore and actually basically sort of negate that. But we're not going to do a prayer one, we're just going to be doing an easy 100. So on a diet, obviously, very free, because almost nobody brings food in. You can just bring a few Sarah brews. Overly draining, especially for entry modes, extremely free. I almost never even use my spec because I'm using Rapier. If I was using a Fang or... yeah, I don't know. If I was using a Fang or maybe like a BGS or something like that for like 300s, then, you know, I might not have that on. I might choose to make up this 15 raid level somewhere else. But for an entry mode, that's relatively free. I'm just going to do a bunch of the Kephri ones just because it's really easy. Blowing Mud and Lively Larva are, especially as you're doing solos, very free. Once you start getting better, you can start doing more Overlords, relatively easy, as well as Aerial Assault. That one for like 300's relatively easy as well, because it takes the Kephri bombs that she shoots at you, and it's now a 3x3 area rather than a 1x1. So that one, don't turn it on to start with, but if you turn on like Blowing Mud, that one's so free. And then Lively Larva is free as well. I usually do the Overlords one just because that's the like little Scarab Ranger and the Mage and that sort of stuff. Z-Back is really easy. At 99 range, if you're using Bofo with Crystal or a Twisted Bow, Z-Back is Swiss cheese sometimes. Other times you can get to like a Z-Back that's like level 3 if you've been walking the path, and that's where people can hit like an iceberg with like Baba or with Z-Back, and it can just be like really, really hard. You could literally even be like that guy with a staff and still planking doing a 300 invocation because you fucked up and leveled up all the way. And you know, all this stuff is really, really easy. I honestly think for this one we can just leave Upset Stomach off. Oh, that's gonna kill me. But Z-Back's really, really easy with the Bofo or a Twisted Bow. Don't turn any of the Akkha ones on. And I'm only turning this one on because it's going to kill me if I don't. Just because I'm used to it. Actually, you know what? No. I have faith. I think I can do it without. This just makes his special attack go faster. And if you aren't used to it, or if you are way too used to his special attack going really fast, then the special attack going slower can actually kill you quite easily. I've done that a few times. So I gotta find something that's like 10. And again, we're looking for something that's free. Usually a lot of people say that everything except for Overclocked 2 and Insanity is pretty much free on the Wardens. I find the Wardens to be a little bit more difficult when you do these 3. I would much rather, that's why my 290s and my 220s, almost all of them are just different combinations of softcore run with the timer. Sometimes I'll throw on walk the path, maybe I won't sometimes. And then, you know, I might throw on one of the prayer ones. And I usually will have almost all of these except for Akkha, these 3 on Akkha. And yeah, just because my magic level is still like 93 or whatever, I just can't be fucking bothered. So that's what we're going to do. We're actually just going to do one more Baba one. This one's really, really easy because it just deals damage based upon how many prayer points you're missing. It's just a little red ball that you dodge every now and then. I can also do Mind the Gap as well, but I'm not going to do this one just so that you don't have to worry about it. But you basically just stay on the left or the right side of the room for the whole time, and you never will get screwed over. If there is a rock that's in the middle of the room and that is the only one that you have to go to, if you are really, really worried about it, you can stay on the north side of the rock, and when he goes and hits you, that rock, if it still stays there because he hasn't done his rock special attack, then that rock will actually block you from going down the gap. A little helpful tip. But this is our 100 that we're going to do. I'm going to do softcore run on a diet, overly draining, just because it's really easy. And honestly, just a few of the invocations. And it's going to be a piece of cake. I don't even think I'll need the antidote. Yeah, we won't even need the antidote. So, for gear, I don't need to bring a Blood Fury with this one, but for my 300s, I have a Blood Fury, because it, like, once you get up past, maybe, like, 200s, it will definitely be worth it to bring something like a Blood Fury. You can see this guy in a Syrup Helm. Don't bring Syrup Helm. Don't be Con Saphos or whatever his name is. Don't be that guy. I did that for my first few ones, but you really honestly don't need the protection against venom. It's really, really easy to dodge, and if you're not dodging the venom, or if it's doing way too much damage to you, then I don't know, step out of the puddle. It's pretty easy. But we are going to quickly do a pot session. So anglerfish, ranging, super combat. That's all you need. Some people bring in a stamina if they want to. You can do that if you feel like it. I have 76 agility, so it's honestly really, really, really easy to not bring a stamina, because your run energy does get refilled, but it'll be fine. We'll bring a stamina just in case. I'll basically almost never use it, and it will be good. So I'm gonna pause real quick. All right, and now we're in. So basically, don't mind all of the junk, but we're going to be bringing 3 brews. Yeah, I'm gonna bring an extra super restore. Gonna bring 3 Sarah brews, and I won't need anything else. Notice how I have glove switch that I haven't grabbed because I am stupid. Felt like I was missing something, and indeed I was. So we've got the glove switch. Our necklace switch is going to be occult or anguish. We've got top and bottom, top and bottom. Ancestral and Crystal Helm. I've got an offhand Elidness Ward just because it's 6 mil right now, and it's so cheap for an extra plus 3% magic damage. A lot of people they'll spend 19 mil on plus 2% magic damage, but they are really missing out with this bad boy. Even the non-upgraded version it's okay, but it's that plus 3% magic damage that's pretty good. And then I just have a Trident of the Swamp. We've got runes for Bloodburst and the barrage spells. So once I'm potted up and I use my salt, I can actually use Ice Barrage as well as Blood Barrage, and that's why I bring Waters as well. And some people will bring Blowpipe. I'm gonna bring it on this run just to make things a little bit easier. It's really good for the shadows, Akkha's shadows, and Blowpipe is really good for the boulders, especially if you have the boulder dash one on. Toxic Blowpipe is really nice. However, I'll also show you sort of like the skip method, and then I'll show you what I do instead on 300s, because skip method is really good and it's awesome to do when you're with a group because it makes things so much easier for everyone. But I'll also show you what I do on solos, and you can actually get some more DPS in, and you can almost skip an entire phase at Baba. Especially like on an entry mode or something like that, you can definitely skip a full phase of Baba. So again, we're just going to be doing easy 100s. It's going to be no problems. Gotta have faith. Blood thinners, not just ahead. Arterial spray, blowing mud, lively larva, overly draining, on a diet. No timers, and just softcore run as well. And that will be good. We shouldn't really get any I mean, we might get Jewel or something like that, I think, but other than that, not really going to be able to get... Oh, we could get Fang or Lightbearer, but it's just basically practice so that you can get more ready for these 300s and these 305s, these 390s. Basically, once you get up past the difference between a 150 invocation and a 200 is very, very, very small. You almost do not notice it once you're up in the normals. Once you get to the 300 area, like 220s are pretty much, just around that sort of 200 invocation, you'll start noticing a difference at 300. And that's really when you get into the expert level, of course. And then once you're in 300s, you're good till 400s or 500s. And then you can be going for kits and all that sort of stuff as well. But you don't have to worry about that. You can even see people, like I've been seeing Fish run a bunch all the fucking time. And he's just Dragon Defender. He's even wearing like a boot swap as well. So, there's no real way of doing this. There's no like guaranteed set way. You bring what you have. Like this guy's an Iron, and he's got Ancestral Bottoms. He's got some Prims. He's got Dragon Defender. You bring what you have. I could literally bring a Carol's. I could bring Dagon High instead. And instead of using Grazi, you could be using Hosta or something like that. I think that's like 9 mil or something right now. So it's really about what you have and making it work for you. And obviously I have a 7 switch or an 8 switch just because I'm used to switching. If you are not used to switching, do things like, I don't know, bring Prims and just wear Prims the entire time. Or if you're really missing that head slot, don't bring Crystal Helm and don't bring Ancestral, and you can bring 2 extra Cerebrews or an extra Restore and an extra Cerebrew or whatever it is that you're missing out. Because if you are running out of prayer or something like that, then make sure that you're either flicking your prayers at the boss rooms, or you're bringing an extra super restore if you're missing out on health and you keep dying because you're running out of Sarah Brews, then bring an extra Sarah Brew. However, if you're just dying because, you know, you're walking into acid or you're forgetting your prayer swap or something like that, then that's just experience, and you just got to keep going and chalk that one up to, yep, that was on me. I know that one was on me. I have 3 restores in 2 brews. I was just stupid and took 80 damage in a single tick, and now I'm dead. So really, it's about what you have. I don't have heart, so I'm not going with heart. Fish has heart, and he's going right back in. So it's what you have and what you can deal with. We're gonna pot. Really easy. I'm even gonna stamina brew it as well, because why not? And first off, we're gonna do Croc, because Croc's probably easiest on entry mode. So we are going to get into our mage gear for the little crocodiles in the puzzle room. You'll see a lot of people doing the whole tile thing. Don't worry about that. You honestly really don't need that. I can show you a really, really easy way of doing this. So, timing wise, if you stand here and wait, there will actually be a crocodile, and you can tag them. Tag all, right click and do the shift thing, and you can actually tag all of the crocs so that you can see whenever there is one in the corners. You really don't have to worry about it until you put water in, but some people will do the health. So notice how I waited until these ones stop. So I will actually show you. You can stand here and wait until you see this one going back into the mouth, and then run, and you avoid damage. So you see this little croc here. Sometimes people will actually even preemptively hit the croc twice, fill the palm, and it's the same thing with this one as well. So you can actually wait until this statue goes back in and run. Don't worry about, the points on this room or anything like that. Don't stand next to the croc. And obviously, you should probably grab water too when you're actually running to these waterfalls. So again, if you make a mistake or something like that in these puzzle rooms, or you take a bunch of damage or anything like that, don't really worry about it. It's all manageable. I've literally had to drink like 3 or 4 brews on this room one time because I was trying to run like 400s with a bunch of people, and I suck at this room, obviously. I suck at running puzzles. And yeah, usually I'll just tank stuff and run through it because I don't care. This room sucks. They know it sucks. They made it suck for a reason. This one's also the same, where the statue, once you see it go back in, you can just go all the way. And easy as that. You're done. That only took us, what, 2 minutes and 30 seconds? That's not even too bad. We are at 67 HP from 99, which, is not great, but we'll take it. So, a lot of the times you will unfortunately not be able to switch. So this is where you see people go in, drop a brew right here, and then go for it. Really, really easy to do. Just make sure that you know what you're doing when you are doing it. So, we're going to quick use, drop. Some people will even turn your prayers on. You have plenty of time though. So, at the 400 level, where you really need your prayer, and Z-Back has 4,000 HP, you won't be using these prayers, like rigor or piety, anything like that. You will only be doing protection prayers, and you'll actually be flicking them like this as well. So you'll be turning it off. You can even wait till right there. It's quite easy to flick prayers on this room. So I'm used to a 3x3, so that water is actually massive. It's very easy. These have about 3 spaces you can stand behind. You can actually see this little area that you're safe in. 3x3, 3x3, or 3x1, sorry. Switch your prayer. See? Just click boss. Switch prayer, click boss. And you can even, you know, turn these on. Just stay out of the blood. It's kind of like the tornadoes at Gauntlet. If you get hit with a 4, you get hit with a 4. Oh no. Yep. And see how I just ran through the poison there? You can dodge those, but I know that I'm about to do a bunch of damage here to him, so I don't really need to worry about not running through all that stuff. I can really honestly just do whatever. You see these 3 marked tiles? You don't have to worry about them. They're just for me, so I know the range on my Bofa, so I'm not dragging myself towards Z-back or something. If I have to be back here and doing you know, the running back here, if I click on Z-back right now, I'll pull myself into the poison, you know, so that's why I marked those tiles. I heard the magic right there. You can actually hear the difference between the magic attack and the range, and actually be easy peasy. Click boss. You hear Z-back do that at, I think it's around 25%, but now that means he's going to attack faster. And he's not going to do his spray attack or his big rock attack. I forget what that's called. However, if he's already in the middle of it, so say you're in the middle of the waves and you hit him and he goes down to 25%, and you hear him doing that while he's doing all the waves, he will finish up that special attack until you are set. And see, I didn't even need to drink a brew there because I knew that everything would get restored. So I didn't even need to bring an anti. And I could run through a puddle on purpose just for fun, because, you know, you're switching your prayers. You're prioritizing switching your prayers on that one, and then just making sure you're not taking a whole fuckload of damage. If you are, drink yellow, and then drink a single pink. 3 yellow, 1 pink, and you'll be good. Then you can pot back up and be fine. So a lot of people use plugins on this one. This is just really easy to do. Hit red square, hit red square, hit this one. The corners do these 3, and if you hit a middle one, it does these 3. It's honestly not that hard, even without plugins. This one's just a memory puzzle. This one's just a memory puzzle, and this one's just a counting puzzle. Thank you, Jagex, for making our lives even more difficult than they are. 4 and 5. There we go. Jump to the platform, and then again, this one's just sort of like a match left, match right memory thing. A lot of people just turn the tiles over to start with, and then there's some people that will go telephone numbers, or they will just prioritize the closeness. So see how I saw star, then the next one that's closest is knives. Closest to knives is either diamond or boot, so I'm just going to hit diamond, go all the way to diamond. Next closest to diamond is W, so you can hit W, go over to W, hit boot on your way, and then hit boot. And you'll be done. Boot, and then boot. It's easy. This is the only reason why some people will bring a stamina sometimes, is if you are doing the pillars, you can sometimes run out of run energy a little too fast. So, easy peasy Kephri. On entry modes, if you have a Grazi, bring it instead of your the pokey thing, the Karis, yeah, the partisan. If you have a jewel for your partisan, then of course that changes it. I don't have a jewel for my partisan, so I'm not going to be bringing it. Don't worry about blocking the melees on this one, because guess what? We don't have the periodic calling for backup on Kephri here. We don't have the 3x3. You can just run back and forth, and it's nice and easy. You'll actually see a lot of people start to do almost what you'd be doing at Verzik, because you can get 2 attacks in if you hit the timing right. 1, 2, 1. Yeah. Throw on your range. Dodge that one, because he'll always come out fast. So the Blood Fury doing a little bit of action there, even though we don't need to. So I got poisoned. Honestly, it's no problem. It's the easiest thing to deal with. A lot of people will switch into their range stuff for this. I'm just going to make this a little bit harder, just so I can get some more points for myself. But a lot of people hit the swarms and stuff as you're supposed to. Make it easier for yourself. I'm making it harder for myself, just for the added TOA points towards the unique. Not that we're gonna get one, but so again, just butterfly. Click behind the next area that you're going to be going to. Click boss. It's kind of like Vorkath if you're doing Wook's Walk for Vorkath, or if you're doing Verzik. Always go for magic first. You saw me do a little drive-by on the Soldier Scarab there. A lot of people do a drive-by. Switch your prayer. And I'm even going to let my my prayer run out on this probably. Just for fun. Just to show you that it's honestly, even without your protection prayers, this room is really, really easy. These scarabs do not hit very hard, and they're hitting on your range defense, which in full bandos should be pretty good. I'm just gonna run this way just to make it a little easier. There we go. Yep. So very easy peasy. Some people will even turn off protection prayers and just use piety. Oh, I should probably turn off auto retaliate A. That'd be good. So you can see how I'm just chilling here. The piety is really helping with the scarabs not being able to hit, because it also increases your defense. So don't even have to worry. And then you can just flick your quick prayers to turn stuff off. You don't have to like actually go into your prayers and turn stuff off. You can just flick the orb real quick and be done with it. Cool. So now we got the spirit. Not that we need any supplies, but the salt is going to help us. So, wow. 3 adrenaline and 2 salt. Entry modes are easy. So if you need to, you can go with life. If you really feel like, you know, prioritize surviving. If you really are having problems, Ambrosia will save you. But I'm going to go with Chaos just because it's easy. And we're actually going to do... Which one are we going to do? I think we're going to do Akkha now, just for fun. Grab your pickaxe. Go in and drop. I usually drop 2 brews. You don't really need any more than 2 two spaces to be able to pick up mirrors and do this. But if you're having difficulty with where to place these mirrors, work backwards from the statue, right? So I saw this. I'm just going to be using that one. I know it would be nice and easy. And there's no like wall here that would be blocking the other way where I have to go with this one. So I know that I can work backwards from this one. Place a mirror right here. Grab this mirror. Place that right here. Make sure you dodge the orbs. Don't be that guy who runs into the orbs. And the plugin even now has a little timer on the statue as well, so that it's even easier to do. You can just wait. Patience, patience, patience. So, this one, I'm going to have to push down like that. Place this mirror here. Rotate. And now we would be good to go. And spam click. Because you'll actually see your character get dragged, and once the walls go down, it will actually reset it, so you can't actually hit the seal if you're not spam clicking on that one. So again, you can either work your way from this side. You see a bunch of mirrors over here, so you're probably going to be using this side, though you can also use this side as well on this one. So I'm just going to place a mirror. That's already facing the correct way. Sometimes you might need to clean a mirror or something. You might see it that it's dirty, and then you just go over to it and clean it. I don't think they even have those on entry mode, but so now, last but not least, we're placing one right in the middle of the intersection of these two. Makes it nice and easy. Dodge the shadow ball, just in case. Place the mirror. Make sure you step back here, because that could have actually been not very fun if it was facing the wrong way. So and notice how I could even wait right there. That's just because I know that this is the last down. I don't need every single tick second to damage the seal, so I can sort of wait for a second. And now you go back, deposit your pickaxe. Don't worry about how your run energy has either run out or is about to run out on this one, because it's about to refill as soon as you enter into the boss room. As soon as you hit those little crystals, that will actually refill your run energy. I think you're special as well, but it doesn't really matter. So with this one, this big boy, make sure you have your switches in the correct spots as well. You saw how I just moved my ward over there just so I could have the Avernic go in that right spot. That's actually essential. Alright, so I'm not even going to do the butterfly because nobody needs that with an entry mode. Just throw that on and stand in one spot. The more that you move around, the less damage that you can be doing. So if you aren't moving around a lot, then you can actually just face tank, just like I am, on an entry mode with protection prayers. He should not be doing a whole fuckload of damage to you. If he is, something is amiss. So I'll just change into my... Notice how I'm now praying range. I don't need that. I can switch into my melee gear now. If you want to, you can dump specs if you have them. again, overly draining is on, so you don't have enough power. Just make sure that you remember magic, red, black, yellow, black, red, black, yellow, and black. Turn your magic on, get into your range gear. He always will start with hitting with melee and you need to use magic. He will always go to melee while trying to hit you with range, and then this last phase right here, and then the switches until you start turning some of the invocations on, and then he can actually change that as well. Notice I'm using blowpipe on these bad boys just because. Easy peasy. Switch into your magic gear. If you want to, and you're low on health, you can even cast a blood barrage on him and heal some of your health. You can't do that on the Wardens, because they're technically like automations or whatever. Black, red, and yellow. Or white, sorry. And pray magic. Get your Revernic on. How about you actually get your Bandos on as well? If you need to sip, you can sip. You can flick your prayers like this when you're on the shadows. And easy. If the Bofa will stop noodling, that's gonna hit me. Nope, okay. Nice. Wow, almost screwed that up on an entry mode. And then pray. White, yellow, black, yellow. Some people will even be switching into their next gear. You don't really need to do that. You're on an entry mode. So it's really easy. Don't have to worry about that. So you see how I forgot? You can either refer to his prayers. So obviously I'll be using magic, so I know that he's trying to hit me with melee in the magic phase. So that's how you would know which protection prayer to turn on if you forget, which hopefully you don't, but I don't know, you saw I just forgot right there. So now he's changing, so just make sure you switch them over to the left. It just goes by left, each one, so. And then switch into your melee gear. And click boss. I wasn't even potted up for this. So we're gonna be using magic. Red, black, red, white. Click boss. Nice and easy. You can see how I'm actually not using rigor here, just to sort of save on some prayer, because I know that the last phase you can actually pray magic and not get hit by the balls as much, which is kind of nice. You can flick your prayers. And of course now you have to switch into these. So you can either do it like this and dodge the balls, or I'll show you how I do it. Hit once, go back to center. Hit once, go back to center. Hit once, go back to center. So the longer that this stays out, the more balls that are going to spawn. So that's why you try and do this as quickly as possible. Just gonna safe up as well. Always, always, always just safe up if you need to. It's always better than planking. There's no worse feeling than planking at like this room when you've spent so much time already on the raid or something. So that's why you bring Sarah Brews, that's why you bring Restores. Just safe up, you know. I know that I really didn't need to, but it's better for the peace of mind just to safe up and you know that you are good to go. So, entry mode with the waves on this bad boy, big monkey. I honestly will just wear Crystal with my Bofa and switch my melee weapons. So sometimes you can do this to make it easier for you. You can put them at the left. So you know that once there is a melee guy, you can just change into your trident or whatever you have for magic. If there is a magic guy, you just switch into your Bofa. I will also use this against the shamans as well. And that will do lots of damage because I have 99 range. And then last but not least, for the rangers, you can take out your Grazi. Though I've even seen people use Partisan on this room for the rangers. They really have really low defense. So whatever you're using, you don't need to switch into all of your gear. That's when you see people doing, 300 rooms, and they really need this room for HP, because you can actually take quite a lot of damage on this room. So I'm just going to drop a brew and a restore, keep one of my brews on me, and then grab the hammer, grab the potions. Notice how I didn't grab them from in there. I actually started the room first, and that's to try and get a head start on doing the room. The reason why I'm using Crystal with the Bofa is because you can actually hit through some of their defenses sometimes with some of these guys. See how I can hit the Ranger with Crystal and Bofa, especially on an entry mode. That's really, really easy. So you can like almost never switch off of this stuff. You can just use like Blood Barrage, and boom, now you're on like wave 4 or whatever, wave 5. If you miss, you can just switch to your melee, avoid the volatile. I missed on that one as well. Switch the Bofa for the mages, and the cursed as well. Switch to the rapier. So you notice how I'm just letting that guy go over on that side of the room. You don't even really need to worry about the volatiles if they're not coming towards you. If they're not really causing a massive problem for you, you can sort of use protection prayers and blood spells and just sort of let them chill while you're doing your thing on your side of the room. Notice how I clicked off so I didn't get dragged there. It's really, really important. Use your protection prayers, especially against some of the melee ones. These red ones can actually hit like 12s on you on like a 220. And these little blue ones can hit like an 8 on you. So you can honestly take like 30 damage in a single tick just by not praying. You'll see a lot of people even bring this over to the side as well, just so that it's easier to click on the potions for DD and for the vents as well. Of course, DD is only if you're doing a duo or a trio or something like that. You'll never need to DD if you're doing solo. just gonna click back, and then click back, and you dodge 2 volatiles. Look at that. And you could do it within like 3 squares of each other, you know? You don't need a ton of space to be able to do this room. That's why I let the cursed baboons just walk everywhere, because I'm focusing on not only my health, but my prayer as well. Sometimes you can even give yourself enough prayer to go into the boss room with pretty good supplies. Alright, so make sure you always go back and pick up your stuff. Alright. And this is actually where you'll see people do something like drink a range potion, drop the range potion because they're like what, 900 GP or something like that. Oh, never mind, they're 300 GP. So yeah, just drop your ranging potion, smelling salt up, and now instead of like 116 or whatever, you're now at 123 or 122 or whatever. So that is really nice. Those smelling salts are essential. Blood Fury is going to come in huge here at this room, but you honestly really won't need it on an entry mode. He only has 530 HP. If you're using something like a Grazi with over 90 attack and 90 strength, then in entry mode, this room will be really easy for you. Once you turn some invocations on, those rocks can fall faster. Notice how I'm just standing anywhere right here next to the rock. I don't even have to hit these guys because, again, I don't have that invocation on. Oh wait, do I? I do actually have that invocation on where that will not be fun. So that's why Mind the Gap is off. You know, if you stepped into the middle like that, then that would have been not a fun time. So you'll see people do a skip like this. And they'll go up like that, because you can actually run through it. And then now, it actually saves the rest of your teammates the rest of all of the boulder phases. And that's called the boulder skip on Bomba. It's really easy to do, though I will show you what I do that makes it even easier, because you actually do a ton of DPS in a solo when you are doing it. Come on, buddy. Thank you. So notice how I stayed on the left side of the room here. Just make it easier for yourself. So this is what I do instead. I switch into full range. And with a Bofa or Twisted Bow, you can actually hit him from right here. And once you start using your prayers, you can actually hit, take off, boulder, oops, if you time it right. Boulder, turn prayer on, hit him, turn prayer off, run, hit boulder. See how you can run in front of it and back up like that? It makes it really nice and easy. And just to show you how easy this is, I've actually done this on 400s all the time. You can actually use Bofa or Twisted Bow here really well. Ran out of prayer, but that's okay. Just gotta dodge the sarcophagi. These little red attacks would kill me right now if they hit. So I'm actually just gonna switch into this just for Blood Fury maybe. Might safe up. Nope, don't need to. Easy peasy. So Blood Fury, again, really nice. It will actually just be helping you so much. You won't even realize it until you're doing something like that and you have like 5 HP left and you're like, wow, I'm pretty sure I saw Blood Fury proc like 5 times during that. So that's a bunch of times where that Blood Fury actually just saved you. So for this one, I have so many supplies because I'm doing an entry mode and it's just really, really easy. So I'm just going to take the adrenaline just because. Make sure that you combine your doses. If you really needed the 1 inventory space as well, you could drop your Cerebro if you wanted to, but we're not going to. We're just gonna go right through. Some people will do this in range. If you have a staff, a lot of people will do this with the staff, this first pillar. I'm just gonna do it on range and just show you what I do. Some people will block left, some people will block right. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're about to find out. So left and right blocking is really important for who you want on the final Warden phases. So if you block right, then you get Kephri, and you start with range in your range gear, and you'll be hitting this guy. If you block left, you get Croc, I believe, and you have to go for this Warden, and you have to be starting out in your range gear once this pillar goes down. So that's why you'll see people either block left or block right, because once you start this obelisk will start charging, and it actually will charge these Wardens up, and you'll see them actually do a special attack once they're fully charged. That is an unavoidable special attack. You can basically only try and mitigate as much of the damage as possible, because one of them is a sort of a DD prayer ball. So if you're doing it with 3 or 4 people, you all get on the same spot to sort of reduce the damage. If you're doing a solo, there's nothing you can do that I know of right now that you can do to sort of mitigate the damage. Anyway, that's why you will see people try and get this obelisk down as fast as possible, and then try to go for these Wardens. I don't know why this one's tagged, but don't really need that. So, don't forget, always crush your smelling salt. I've got an extra one. I'll even take out a tier if I need to. Drop a Cerebro just because. And there you go. You know, you've got full inventory spots used, and you know, you can even have an extra one if you didn't have the switch or something like that. Then you could even have an extra inventory space. But we are going to start. It's going to be easy. I'm going to block right to start with. I'm just going to use ranging gear just until the first phase. I also wait until about 66, and then I step out to right here, and you'll see the yellows start. And you should be able to stand right in this spot here and be very safe and careful. Once the yellows are done, it's now going to be the red. So I actually like to switch into my melee gear for this one, because I believe the obelisk is weak to stab, just like everything here. Gonna drink some adrenaline. These are the prayer ball attacks and the DD attack, where you can basically not avoid it. The only way you can avoid it is by hitting the obelisk down. So see how I hit the obelisk down before that? That should hopefully not hit me for massive damage. Yep. There we go. So we could switch into our ranged gear, turn on rigor. You can wait for the protection. I have this tile marked because I will show you exactly why. You can stand right here, listen to his attacks, and then just camp melee. You see this? Wait, and then go. Nope, that's a melee. Always just safe up. You're gonna need the HP anyway. This is where you'll see people dump their specs into the core. I'm not even praying. Oh my god. So now you go into your magic gear. Some people, especially if you're low health, make sure you turn your prayers on before you switch. Turn your prayers on before you switch if you are low health. Just listen to his attacks. Go back to melee. Mage, melee. And now you can skip one because he just did a melee attack. Make sure you dodge these. Stay on melee until you hear something. Can't dodge. Oh. I can dodge that one. Come on, buddy. There you go. Yeah, so this is pretty easy. Honestly, it's an entry mode. He has like half the health he normally should. Or whatever. Prayers. Switch your gear. Easy. See? See how easy that was? You can prioritize it. I thought I had turned that on, but maybe I didn't. The ranging one is definitely by far the fastest one. You'll find that the ranging one is so much easier than the magic one. And I don't know why that is, but I think that's probably until I get like a staff. Or a better magic level. So that my trident will hit a little bit harder. If I had my spec, I could dump it there, but I don't even need to. So now just switch into your range gear. And now it's time for the final warden. Bye, Sarah Brew. This is where you'll see people safe up like that, because you're going to need the time. You don't need any sort of protection prayer here until these phases where the people appear on the corners. So always just prioritize moving. No matter what it is. You know, if I need to smelling salt dose again, oh shit. You know, I need to take it out of my supplies and then dose up. So you see how I prioritize moving there, so I don't get absolutely smacked. I didn't even, you know, turn off my rigor, because I have a bunch of prayer restore as well. So you can sort of prioritize this stuff as you need to. Take out any melee weapon, it doesn't matter, just hit these once. If you're doing a duo, you might need to hit them twice, but with no invocations, this warden will always start on the right side, and you can remember that anytime that she changes phases, or he, or whatever that is, that they will always start on the right side here. So you can always prioritize that as well when you switch your rapier or your partisan. So you saw that guy appear. So now just pray. He's always going to start at range. Always starts at range. So just turn your range on. As soon as you see him smash the ground with that spear, that's when you're going to change your prayers. So watch him. There you go. And now just keep moving. Which you hopefully should have been doing the entire time, because if not, you're probably dead by now. But just watch for him to smash the ground again. There it is. And now you see Kephri appear. That's why I went with the left warden instead of the right, because without any invocations, this Kephri is really easy. Saw him smack the ground there. So to avoid the Kephri ones, all you have to do is just either be on the off tick, or you can actually even move in the area that you need to, as long as you're not with other people, and you can actually be doing a fairly good job. You saw how I click ahead on those? So you can actually run through really quickly and be able to smack. because if you mess up that phase and she absorbs some of the skulls, then it's really bad and you die. There's no way you can go over that. So on this one, make sure you are just, again, the more that you're moving, the less damage you can be doing. So try, if you have a fuckload of ambrosia, drink your ambrosia. Stop moving, just worry about your protection prayers, and just stand here and hit the boss. Because you'll actually do way more damage and be way safer with ambrosia doses. Easy peasy. Look at that. And then you can just switch. I saw him smack the ground there. That's how I knew to switch. So you're just sort of running back and forth trying to avoid the damage. Do the quick prayer thing. See that? 44. That's why you don't do the timer. Because if I had done the timer, that 1.59 would be probably like 1%, if that. So even if you are doing entry modes for practice or something like that, you can always sort of, don't worry about the time, just do you, prioritize staying alive so that you can get shitty drops, or 500k drops, depending. That one was actually rather nice because of the dragon darts. So yeah, really, really easy. It's honestly no big issue if you die a few times. It's all about practice, all about, you know, getting into the swing of things and getting into that rhythm. Once you start getting into that rhythm, it gets even easier from there. And then you start being able to go over to this little side rather than this chest, and you get to be over here, and everybody sees that, you know, you get to be over here rather than being at that chest. Don't be that guy that has to come out and go right here. Be that guy that comes out and gets to go right here. So anyway, that's it. That is really, really it. Once you start getting staff and pieces of ancestral and stuff like that, you'll start being able to do even more damage, get quicker times, that sort of stuff. So that's it, honestly.